Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Elodie from Elodie's Crafts and Creations, and today we're gonna make two very simple cards for our ocean junk journals. So I'm making 8 junk journals on the theme of the ocean, mermaids, sea, etc. And I'm doing a lot of ephemera to go in it, a lot of tags, a lot of tabs, a lot of cards, pockets, just basically anything. And here I'm just cutting two, I think it's seahorses, I'm pretty sure. So I did not plan the seahorses to be exactly like a card, otherwise I would have just made them exactly the same size as I printed them, which I do recommend. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna glue them one to the other so that it's a lot thicker, and I'm gonna put a bit of paper in between just to make it a tad thicker again so that it's really like a card. And I'm gonna have to cut off a bit of the first one that I'm gluing right now because it's a bit too big compared to the other one. So I will have to make it a little bit smaller, but it doesn't matter. It looks really cute anyways. Okay, so let's just get started. So right now I'm just trying to put it right in the middle. Another way you can do this is literally just cut off the pieces that you think are not necessary and then cut it off until you think it's the right size. So for this, I would recommend that you put your smaller paper on the other side, which is not what I'm doing here and which is definitely what I should be doing. And then cut off exactly to the right size. That's my recommendation. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get it as close as possible, and then I'm just gonna glue it, and then I'm gonna trim the edges. And I'm lucky because I do have a bit of an eye. Otherwise, if you're just doing it at random like this, you might end up cutting off the nose of your fish, which is regrettable. But yeah, we're lucky today, so that's okay. And now I'm just pulling it as close to the edges as possible. Since it's just paper on paper, I'm using my UHU stick, which I love and use a lot. And now you can use basically anything. I'm just pushing all the glue towards the edges and towards anywhere where there might not be too much glue so that everything is properly glued and it will not come off. And now we're just gonna trim the edges. Very precise work. So that should do the trick. And finally, we're going to ink our cards. So I'm just making sure everything is glued perfectly as I mentioned, and I will ink with vintage photo distress oxide from Ranger and Tim Holtz. I think it gives it a really grungy look, and I just really love that color. And And this is not necessary, it's just so that you don't see the white on the corners from the fact that it's printed paper. And lastly, I will sew all around the edges. Okay, so let's just sew around our card really quickly. And in the end, I will show you the results. So I'm using a zigzag stitch. I'm just going around the edges with brown, a brown thread. And this is the result, and I'm really loving it. I thought that using black thread would be too dark, so I used brown, and I'm really happy with the results. And now we're gonna do a second little card. This time it's about birds. So this is a lovely image I found online. I don't think it was the Graphics Fairy, it was probably another site. I've gone through so many websites to try to find these images, and there's so many websites online. Yeah. If you are interested, I can always just try to find it again. Just put a comment and let me know of which image you would like me to find again for you. I'll see what I can do. But there are just so many beautiful images everywhere on the web that are free of use. So just have a look. Just look on Google, like copyrights free images and like websites to find those images, and you'll find just loads, I promise. So just as before, we're just cutting our images as close as we can, and this time I did put them I did print them out as a card. I did not have my printer at the time, so I just printed them on regular paper, and I will just glue them onto a plain piece of paper, just copy paper, so that it's stronger and feels a little more cardboardish. And I'm just gonna glue them each on the other side of this paper, and I will make sure that I've got the right size up for each of the cards. Otherwise you just end up with one bird facing down and the other facing up, and it's just not gonna work. And then the way I always do is I just take a card, bone folder, just basically anything that's pretty flat, and I'm just trying to get all my paint and glue and any air bubbles there are to just come out. And now I'm just gonna trim it and glue it on the other side. So I'm just making sure when I glue this that it's exactly the same size of the paper coming up on the edges. I'm not sure how to explain this right, but you see there's a little bit of white on the side, and either I cut this off or I leave it, which means that there will be this little frame around, and it's something I quite like. Sometimes I leave it, sometimes I don't, but you do need to make sure that it's exactly the same size on each of the cards, that it's very centered, otherwise it might not look very nice. And then I'm gonna ink it as usual with my vintage photo distress upside from Tim Holtz and Ranger, the Ranger products. Sorry. And then we're gonna find a little tag. Okay, so these tags I made, I filled with fun facts about sea animals and like lots of numbers and really interesting stuff, definitions and stuff. But I think it might be a bit too much on this card. So I think there should be something there, but maybe just a tad smaller. Or emptier maybe. So I'm just gonna find something else in my other printouts, like an empty little tag, like this one. So let's just space it around it, and then we're gonna glue it onto the card. And there's one thing I haven't shown in this video. I will show you in the end pictures. I added a little tab of vellum. It's blue vellum that I bought, and I just cut it into a tab shape, and then I just glued it onto the card, and then I sewed all around this card as well, like the one we just saw before. As usual, I'm using my chew stick because it's just paper on paper and it's gonna glue perfectly. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want. I would love to have your comments on this particular project. I will put up the final flip-throughs online as well, so don't hesitate to check those out, as well as my Etsy shop. And now it's time to sew all around them. Let's do this. Alright, so I'm gonna sew through the tab, sorry, the blue vellum tab. To make sure it just stays, because vellum is quite annoying. It doesn't stick with glue. And this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye!